Hello everybody, we are back with the book Message from a Teen in the Spirit's World by the Spirit Neio Lucio and the medium was Chica Xavier. We are at the chapter's name is Organization. So just to recap quickly, the book is about a boy Carlos who when he discarnated, he wanted to write a letter to his brother to explain to him his experience when he, through his death, his experience in the spirit world, and everything that he is observing while he's there. And today's chapter is organization. Since our cousin Antonio happened to be in the same complex, you will of course like to know how he's doing, because you might think we see each other a lot. We do in fact both live at the same institution, but the big school is divided into several different sections. As I've already explained, I'm part of a small group of kids who have just recently arrived from Earth, whereas Antonio has been here longer. Also, our cousin has been a model of goodness and obedience. He was a good kid and was a source of real satisfaction to his parents. He used to cheerfully help his friends. He never trapped animals or hurt them just to be mean. He never wasted his time playing pranks. He spent a lot of time reading instructive material, and he worked with a true devotion of well-behaved and studious boy. I was duly informed about all this by one of the teachers who visit our class when I asked him about the difference between my own situation and Antonio's. Since I'm not spiritually advanced as he is, I can't go see him. He has earned special rights that I don't have yet. And from time to time, he comes to lift my spirit and comfort me. At other times, we gave hugs when everybody in the complex gets together at the same time. That is, when all the boys and girls from the upper and lower level courses meet once per week on the day devoted to prayer and fellowship. Maybe you're surprised at what I'm telling you, but not all the kids work and study together. In the complex, there are many separate divisions for boys and girls except for a certain area. The most elevated of all, where both boys and girls may be found together because their feelings and emotions are so highly developed. As for the vast majority of the young people staying at the complex, they get together in small or large groups according to their characteristics, tendencies. They are weak, ill, uneducated, and educated boys and girls who show that they are behind, standing still or advancing in their spiritual growth. And for each category, there is a specialized area. My group consists of recently arrived kids who have had no spiritual upbringing and who have serious problems to correct. In this regard, I don't need to remind you that I was never fond of discipline or work. I made it a point to be lazy. I used to like cake, coffee with cream, meals, bicycling, and marbles. But I never realized the price or the effort that all this cost my mum and dad. Together, however, I envy the obedient and well-behaved children. I can see their happiness when they are near me during times of rest and prayer. I see them smiling and happy when they go by by me without any display of vanity or presumptuous, presumptuous, presumptuousness. Sorry. And I sincerely ask Jesus to inspire me to be a hard worker and to persevere in what is good. In this way, I might someday join them in the great and blessed work of spiritual growth. This is so beautiful. I see there's people that's joined me. Thank you so much. I can't see your names, but thank you. Let's just recap this chapter, which is actually such an amazing chapter. And he explains about his cousin Antonio, and he says that he has been a model of a child. He was hardworking. He never had a tendency to harm any animals. And then he also said that that was the difference. He was lazy. He never helped, and he only wanted to do nice things and eat and all that. If we look at this how he explains this, and their happiness, because they are happy to work and happy to help, and then it is only through work, only through serving, in the end, that we can actually find happiness, is to serve or to work or to help in together in a fellowship. Which is quite amazing, is that every one and every how he explains it, everyone that has a problem or that has a certain state of mind is accommodated in their certain way of being, which is amazing. And there is always no judgment in this case. There's always only helpfulness. If you see the previous chapters as well, they're inspired to see where they are, and they're always helped with love. And if we think about it, that is the example of Jesus. If you read the book Jesus in the Home, the way that Neio Lucio explained Jesus as well is this loving, always kind with his disciples way of helping them when they had difficulties, when he tells them these stories about certain lessons for them to think about. And it is the same. Every mentor that these kids have there is the same way. It is this loving, caring way of being. There is no, whatever they did, that they don't care about that. It is to know what you did. And he explains as well at the end that they come together once a week, and they have a prayer day where they are together and where they help each other and pray together. And I think it's very important to help not only ourselves, and this is where we can actually look at ourselves today and see how constantly are we working? What are we doing with our time? Especially now in this world situation that we are in. We are at home, but what are we doing with our time? It is a true time of reflection. And the only way that we can reflect on great things is to educate ourselves, is to read, to be part of this wonderful lectures that we get from Kodak Radio, to be part of these things as many times as you can, to educate ourselves, because every time that we can watch something or hear something that can help us to change ourselves, to see that we still change ourselves. And we actually have now, we have a chance now, when we don't have to go out to work, some of us, and we don't have to worry about other things, to actually do work on ourselves, to see who we are and where are we at at the moment and what is important, what is expected of us, what can we do to assist others as well, because it's through work that we help one another, and especially to help our kids with this, because we get a lot of children that are playing video games and not doing anything, not helping in the house. They are used to just getting their food, not helping with the washing up. But we need to have an order in the house as well. And that is where it begins. It is a small order for them to have a routine, to do certain tasks, to be helpful as well. And that will make them happy. That will truly make them happy. And then to constantly help them to pray. I know they are not in schools anymore, so there are no teachings or prayer at school, at any school, I think, in the world. But now that they are at home, is the time when we can come together as families to help them get a routine into work, into praying, into praying for everything we do. And especially the what he said about the animals as well. Since a very young age, we should help our children understand to respect all life forces, because it doesn't belong to us. Everything belongs to God. And as soon as they can realize that we have to have respect and love for all beings, and I want to say even plants and trees and everything, if we can actually help them understand the love and respect, because it does not belong to us. Everything, and I think there's one thing that truly stuck with me that Vanessa said. She said that we are only the butlers because nothing belongs to us. It belongs to God. We are the butlers that God gives permission to work with things while we are on earth. And if we look at everything in such a way, we will be inspired to be more loving and to actually be more careful of what we are doing with everything. And this is a thing that we can help teach ourselves and practice together. Because as a family, this is where everything starts. And this is a great time to do that. Do it with your family, to learn, to get to know one another, to work together, and to work on our communication with God as well. And this is truly very important. He said, today, however, I envy the obedient and well-behaved children, because they will envy them. And that is why there are still a lot of things that we are still learning, and we need to help and change. And this is why it's so wonderful if we educate ourselves, so that we can know. It's like a mirror. Every lesson that we get, that we listen to on Kodak Radio, every lesson that we read from Emmanuel and all these wonderful spirits, is like a mirror that we can look into. And in the end, we can say, okay, this is something I still need to practice in myself and to work on, because it's a constant and daily thing, not just for us, but only to give it out to the children, to everybody that we talk to as well. So this is a really true great book, and I see that the book was shared on the podcast of Kodak Radio. I think Carol and someone else is doing the podcast. Please go and see and listen to the podcast. This is really a great book, and you can actually read this book over and over, or listen to it. Listen to the podcast if you're busy, and it's great for kids as well. Instead of watching TV, let them listen to the podcast, because it's good for them to understand what their duties, even as children, are. And it's a spiritual journey. Everything that we do is a spiritual journey. It is something that we practice in our spirit. The smallest thing. The smallest thing. And that is what is actually so amazing. So let's work together. And thank you so much. Hi, Carol. I can see you. So thank you so much for joining me. We will continue next week with Conscience. This is a great book. I get excited and I just want to read it, keep on reading it to you. But let's see each other next week and let's think about this chapter, because I think everything that we do every day and if we ask to be helped, there's always a means for us to get the message, which is great, because as well as what Carlos said is that he prayed to Jesus to help him. And that's the thing, is if there's something that we struggle with, we need to pray about it, because help is always there. We should never forget it. And if times are hard, let's pray. And if you feel heavy, I think there is a lot of people at Cardiac Radio and everywhere we can be together and help one another. And this is truly important now, to be there for one another in any way possible. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.